I think we got a pretty good group on, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for taking the time to join us today for a UCS Cisco UCS Tech update. Um, I'm Nate Risley. I am a data center engineer for CVE. I joined CVE about a year and a half ago uh, to the data center team, and I came directly from a customer, actually. So I'm familiar with a lot of the day-to-day challenges and work that a lot of you do, and it's been a great opportunity for me to be part of now working on solutions and this side of things. So I have worked for quite a few years in Cisco products, UCS, also a lot of the virtualization, Hyper-V and VMware, of course, storage products and systems, as well as in the backup realm too. So all things, compute and data center there. But today we are going to talk mostly UCS and what's upcoming new, the X series platform with UCS as well. So if you have questions, for the most part, feel free. I'll kind of pause if there are questions. We'll also do that at the end, and feel free we'll talk about this after, but reach out if you have questions as well. Um, so just a brief history on Cisco UCS. Let's see, I don't know if let's get that out of the way. Okay. So UCS, many of you might be familiar with UCS, have it in your environments. It officially launched in 2009 with the B series, the Blade servers, and the infamous 5108 chassis. That chassis is, now 15 years and has been solid and is still going. It's still a supported and valid and a great platform. And really, when it was introduced, it was transformative in its architecture for the data center, kind of taking all the compute, networking, and storage and integrating it into one platform, a single platform, and really making that such a simple design. We've all been in a data center and seen a rack, where you have traditional rack servers, the cabling that's involved with the management and the storage and the networking and the power and the redundancy of that can get messy quick. The backside of a UCS stack is very clean. It's simple and it's easy to manage. So and it's done that by the blade server architecture, compute nodes or servers slide into that chassis, and then on top of that, the fabric interconnects sit, and that is Cisco's networking solution there, where everything is combined. All of the this unified fabric, which would encompass, your Ethernet network and your storage networks into one, running up through those fabric interconnects, and then on top of that sit your up to your top of rack switches. We'll take a look at the architecture here, a diagram in just a minute, but that's kind of the high level. And then it brings in simplified management. UCS Manager, again, has been a solid management platform for all of this, for you to be able to manage all of your networking, all of your storage, and your compute in one location. And then on top of that, the scalability, it's easy to scale both out by adding additional nodes and up by adding additional chassis. So it's very customizable, works really well, and has for a long time. And then that brings us to what Cisco has launched within the last 5 years, which is the X series. So the X series is a great platform, and this is a great intro to that. So I thought I'd let Cisco kind of give us an idea of what that. Oh, let's get that to play maybe. Hopefully you can hear this.
Nate, I don't think we can if there's something playing.
Sorry, what was that, Kim?
I cannot hear anything.
Hmm. Let me just look real quick. Sometimes I can't get that. It's just music, so if not, that's okay. Uh, Sometimes the audio doesn't come through. That's all right. We'll just let this play. This is just to give you an idea of what the chassis and the components look like. All right. Well, it was just fancy music that was there. So, um, but that's the X series. Now, some of you have it in your environment already. If you haven't seen it yet, it is the next generation of UCS. And it is really prepped to go the next 20 years, and be the solution for technologies, and emerging protocols and things that aren't in use today. Liquid cooling is one of those. It's liquid cooling ready. Um, from the video you saw, there's actually no mid plane in this chassis. These nodes slide directly and vertically and connect up to the network and I/O on the back, which we'll talk about in a minute. But that makes it adaptable for some of those emerging and future technologies. Um, so yeah, it's a 7RU chassis, just one bigger than the current 5108 chassis. Has 8 of those slots in there for vertical nodes. You can kind of see on the right here, these are the power supplies. 6 power supplies in there versus the 4 that were in the old chassis. Uh, in today's world, power, cooling, as everything draws more power and cooling than this chassis is prepared to provide, those resources. And then one of the really cool things about this is in addition to compute nodes, which these are the nodes here. In addition to there's a compute node. Um, there's also an offering for PCIe nodes. These nodes will hold up to 4 GPUs and give GPU capability, more GPU capability to the compute nodes. So you can actually put, like I said, 4 GPUs there, and 2 GPUs in the compute nodes to give you plenty of power there. These are 1-to-1, so it's kind of like it's laid out this way. This design here shows 4 compute nodes as well as a PCI node for each one. So, and then it's all managed via Cisco's cloud platform, Intersight, which we'll touch on here in just a second. And then the backside of this is where we kind of talk about being future ready. So to give you an idea, these top 2 modules. These are called the Intelligent Fabric modules, Cisco's IFMs. These are what will connect from the chassis up to the fabric interconnects. There'll be a pair of those up on top. There's a couple of models, but this is the 8-port, 25 gig per port model here. And then these are the fan modules for those. And then these are the X driver modules. This is part of that future readiness, providing additional I/O capabilities here, like resource pooling, specifically GPU pooling, which isn't is prevalent today, but that capability will be in the future. to be able to share GPU resources, memory resources across the nodes. Prepping for things like AI is a big buzzword in the industry, machine learning, giving the ability for that additional IO through here. So that's kind of the design. It's a simple design, but very powerful. These modules connect directly into the nodes themselves. So the nodes slide vertically, like I said, all the way into that chassis and then connect up to those modules. Those modules can come out and be changed as required for whatever the future holds. So again, very flexible and very adaptable. A quick architecture diagram here. You can see the UCS chassis. This chassis is populated with 5 nodes. These are blanks, so whatever you might need today, you can get, and then have the ability to scale out, add more nodes in there, or scale up as you need to. These would be the 2 fabric interconnects, a couple of model options there. Some of these can be unified ports, so you can do your storage as well as your Ethernet network there. And then up on top, and forgive the diagram, you'd likely have a pair of switches up there to connect up from the fabric interconnects up into your top of rack switches. And then this is where the InterSight piece comes in. This is Cisco's hosted managed InterSight offering that will connect into your UCS environment. We're showing the X series here, but a part of the UCS architecture is also rack servers. Those can connect up and be managed. It's really a single pane of management for your UCS environment. And this could be, which we'll talk about here in just a second, for additional chassis, nodes you have out on the edge, can all connect up through here, can be managed in one space wherever geographically this may be located. So let me take a quick pause and say if there's any questions so far, happy to answer those, or we can talk about what is new and upcoming. So, all right. So for what's next for UCS, the M8 generation, some of this is already, is close or here, but for the most part, the M8s are on their way. I put in here, so the B200, that's the current B series servers, blade servers in the 5108 chassis. The M5s, the last day of support for those is 2028, October 31st, 2028. So there's a date out there for that. So I only put that in here to say, start thinking about this. If you have a current 5108 chassis with the B series blades in there, because we're already going into the M8 generation. M7 is what we're, what's out there now, and so we'll be looking forward to that. In that M8 generation, both in rack and X series nodes, will be support for the 4th gen AMD EPYC processors. So I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this powerful processor that will have support in that generation. It will also provide support for the the 5th generation, and so of that processor line. So some good AMD options there. Like I said, both in the rack and the X series node options. And then just a small, the current M7s are 4th generation Intel processors, but they are coming the support for the 5th gen. So the Emerald Rapids. So very flexible. Again, Cisco's always done this, but where we can have the ability to, pick whatever generation performance-wise we want when it comes to CPU, memory, those things, and it's adaptable, and they stay on the edge there. And then we've got the UCS X Series Direct. So if you're familiar with or remember the UCS Mini, This is the next generation of that. Really, this comes with the more of the emergence of cloud compute or edge computing, putting the data processing out on the edge so that you're not moving all of that data over the network. The UCS X Series Direct will make that much more efficient and possible. What it does here, and we'll take a look, is it integrates the fabric interconnects into that chassis, so further simplifying that architecture. And here's kind of a quick look at that. It's the same chassis, same nodes, fans, power supplies, but like I said, it integrates the FIs there. And the way it does that is replaces those intelligent fabric modules in the X series itself. By sliding these two in there, they're fabric interconnects, and then you can connect directly up to your top rack switches. And you can connect in your storage, such as Pure or NetApp as well. So still GPU capable. You can see the networking there up to 100 gigs. Storage as well, and your storage network up to 32 there. So that is all a self-contained unit. Put it in out on the edge. Put it in a smaller, medium-sized data center. Whatever your use case might need, that will be the purpose of that. So stay tuned for that. That's coming and coming soon. So that's a great option. Any questions on that? The UCS X or the X Series Direct?
Hey, Nate, Carson had a question. Let me unmute him.
Sure.
I didn't say anything. Because couldn't hear himself. But on the last screen, I was talking about the cloud administration console. Is that the only way to manage it, or is on-prem also like logging directly into it, manage it an option?
Sure. Yeah, no, great question. There is, and we can, we can kind of talk through the details of this, but there is absolutely options. There's Cisco actually offers 3 options. There are use cases where that may need to be air gapped completely for security purposes, and then there are also opportunities, an additional architecture where you have an appliance running in your data center that connects up instead of having a full connection up into inner site. So we can talk through what that looks like, but absolutely there's options around there. It's not just a straight up to the cloud management platform.
And I assume Intersight is a subscription that's paid either monthly or yearly or that type of thing. Okay,
Yep,
gotcha.
yep. The subscription model there. While we're here, touch on Intersight. Intersight, like I said, it does give you that single, pane of glass management, but there's a lot of great capabilities there. Obviously, the industry has gone towards subscription based, but it's a great design. It really does give great management in there. A lot of proactive monitoring, a lot of orchestration there. The same policy based as existing UCS Manager, and then good options around support and TAC there, directly being able to open cases with Cisco and proactively open cases and RMAs and things like that. So there's a lot of good capability there, which we can talk through and show you if you have interest there. But there are options around that.
Steve also asked in chat if full width X series blades will replace the B200 M5 series.
So if I understand your question, they're not cross compatible. So right. So the X series blades will not fit in the 5108 chassis where the B series blades are now. But if I mean, as far as future goes, yes, this will replace them. But they aren't. You're not able to put the B series blades into the X series chassis and vice versa. They won't go back and forth. In the M6 generation, there is a B series option as well as an X series option. But yes, this is the future as far as, the 5108 chassis in the B series will be fully retired at some point. So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back here, skip ahead. So let's talk a little bit about hyper-converged with Cisco. So I'm putting touching on Broadcom and VMware here because it is been such a big deal. A lot of people wondering what's going to happen here. Questions about what the licensing looks like, and that's a conversation we can have. But what I wanted to focus on was, if you are interested in planning for what life apart from VMware might look like, or what some of the other offerings are out there are. Cisco has partnered closely with both Microsoft and Nutanix. With Microsoft, the Azure Stack HCI offering, there's validated designs here with Cisco. We can build up the Azure Stack HCI OS. Really is built on Hyper-V, but it is an option, and that's something we can look at running that on Cisco UCS. And then the big one here is Cisco UCS and Nutanix, which there's a big partnership that was announced last year, and which is great. Simplicity there, scalability, performance. The Nutanix platform is a great platform that provides opportunities to manage your virtual infrastructure with Nutanix's AHV hypervisor. It's a great hypervisor. Have some experience with it. Solid product. Very flexible. Add nodes. The interesting thing here too is you can actually take some of your Cisco M6 or M7 rack servers, older servers. You can repurpose them into a Nutanix cluster. You can also take them out if you scale down, and they can become regular x86 servers. So you have options there. There's an integrated networking piece in there. If you use Cisco's Fabric Interconnects, all the networking can be contained. You have an option to manage that via Intersight as well. And then in the M6 and M7s, you can do both all flash or all NVMe. So there's a great offering there. There's if that's interesting to you, then we can have those conversations. But it's a great partnership that the Cisco's developed there with Nutanix. And then convergent infrastructure. So this has been around for a while, but they're validated designs both with Pure Storage and Cisco and their Flash stack, and then with Cisco NetApp in the FlexPod. So both are simplified, highly scalable, and then on top of that, it brings that Intersight management piece in that you can manage your storage, whether it's on Pure or NetApp, from within Intersight, on top of managing all your compute inside the UCS environment. So good stuff there. Okay, and that's kind of it. That's what we wanted to give you an update on. I don't know if there's any questions. Again, I can answer those, or I will say any of this that you want to know more about, you can reach out to us, your account managers, or Brad or I, and we can answer some questions and have conversations about what a lot of this looks like in your environment, and clarify any of it, and give you some demos and some additional information on it. So give you an opportunity to ask any more questions, but appreciate you joining.
There was a question if they can get a copy of the slides.
Sure. Yep.
We'll send those out to the.
Get those out.
Nate, I just want to say a very comprehensive, very complete presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Thank you for joining. Again, I think that Rod will have we'll get some lunch vouchers sent out. We'll have some lunch. Appreciate you again taking the time with us, and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks all.
Thanks, Nate.